Today, I'm gonna be trying to make money with sports betting using artificial intelligence. You see, according to the all-knowing internet, only 3% of sports bettors are profitable in the long run. But the question is, what if there is a way to develop a safe strategy that leads to long-term success in sports betting? That's why for the next 7 days, I'll be using the most sophisticated sports betting strategy created by an AI to see if I can turn a profit, starting with $250 in my bankroll. And for this experiment, I'll be using the infamous ChatGPT. And to really test the effectiveness of this strategy, I'll be betting on a completely different sport every single day. And the last sport will absolutely blow your mind. But for now, let's start with the NBA. So what I'm going to do right now is to ask ChatGPT for some NBA picks for today's games.
I can't provide specific betting advice or help with placing bets. It's important to do your own research.
You see, when you normally ask ChatGPT for sports bets, you end up with something like this. And that's exactly why many of you commented on my previous video that this whole thing is a lie and you can't get sports bets from ChatGPT. But that's not the way you do it. Why would I lie about ChatGPT anyway? So the correct way to do it is to start off slow. It's literally like having... You don't just dive in full throttle, you ease into it, you take it slow. Well, I bet you haven't experienced that before. Anyway, so instead of asking for sports picks directly, I'm gonna say something like, "Hey Miss GPT, can you please help me come up with some betting strategies?" And to really sell it, I'll throw in something like, "It's for a school project. I just wanna see how an AI can perform in betting compared to humans." You're totally gonna take the bait, just watch. "Hey, that sounds like a fun project." See, the intensive is already positive. Now she's in a good mood. It laid out some different betting strategies, and even at the end it says, "How do you like the AI to approach the betting strategy?" See? That's some progress. So I told it I'm looking to maximize potential wins while minimizing risks, and sure enough, it started yapping a bit to give us some tips and tricks. All right, but that's enough. I don't recall ordering the Yappuccino. How can I stop this? So this is where I kind of start getting more direct. So I sent ChatGPT 2 screenshots. One shows today NBA game schedule and the other displays the odds from my sports books. Just in case you're wondering how I send these screenshots, yeah, I'm using ChatGPT 4, the paid version. I think it's 15 or 20 bucks per month. I also told ChatGPT my entire bankroll is $250 so we can play with it however we want. And it started off by using some math to figure out a low risk strategy based on the current odds, but I want something sharper. So I'm gonna ask dig deeper, looking at team stats, player performances, injuries, really anything that could impact the game. After a bit of back and forth refining the approach with all this new data, I asked ChatGPT to nail down the specifics and give me some exact picks with the recommended budgets. And voila, it came up with a detailed plan with the exact picks. So please don't comment on my video that, "Oh, but ChatGPT says I don't condone betting. This whole thing is a lie. You can't get sports." Yeah, it's not my fault that you can manipulate it good enough. Yeah, sorry. Let's move on. ChatGPT decided to play it somewhat safe by suggesting I put $17, just 5% of my bankroll on today's games, and spreading that amount on across various bets to optimize chances. I guess it's a smart move to minimize risk, but I'm feeling kind of lucky today, so I asked ChatGPT to give us a parlay as well. And here are the bets. We have $4 on Lakers to cover the spread and $3 on over for total points, $3 on Heat to cover the spread and $2 on over for total points, $3 on Thunder's money line, and $2 on Pelicans to cover the spread. And also $5 on the parlay bet, which is Lakers to cover, Heat to cover, over on Celtics versus Heat, and Thunder to win the money line. To be honest with you, I have no clue what I just read. I have never watched a single NBA game in my entire life. And this, I just got it from a local sport chick. I don't even know what team I'm wearing. I just like the color and I can match it with the cap. And it was the only thing they had, so yeah. Alright, so let's place the bets right now exactly as it was suggested by ChatGPT. I'm a little nervous, but here we go. 3, 2, 1... Alright, so out of all the bets we placed, 6 in total plus a parlay, we only nailed 2 of them. Oklahoma City on the money line and the Lakers covering the spread. Everything else tanked. So we're down about $9, which isn't the end of the world. Plus, ChatGPT was actually pretty close on some of these. For example, with the Lakers versus Nuggets game, it predicted a total score over 216 and the game ended at 214. So we were just one bucket away. So I'm gonna take this as a trial run. It's not too bad and I'm feeling pretty optimistic about bouncing back tomorrow. And if you forgot, tomorrow we're betting on a new sport, hockey. Do you know back in 2011 when Vancouver Canucks lost to Boston Bruins in the finals, people of Vancouver went crazy and they started rioting and setting stores on fire and basically looting everywhere? I mean, you're expecting to see something like this happen in Ohio, not in Vancouver, right? I guess it happens to the best of us. All right, so today we have 4 games lined up, but ChatGPT told me to only bet on 2 of them because the other 2 are kind of iffy. It's like a toss-up. So we are putting money on Boston Bruins and Vancouver Canucks just straight up on their money line. Plus, we're mixing it up a bit with a parlay of both. Funny thing, yesterday ChatGPT was pretty conservative, using only $22 of my entire bankroll. But today it's like, let's roll, and it's putting down $70. Can you believe $70? That's $30 each on the Bruins and Canucks, plus $10 on the parlay. ChatGPT says Boston Bruins are killing it this season, and apparently Vancouver Canucks had a great comeback, so he's feeling pretty confident about the bets, but let's see if he can stand on business. Alright, I'm watching hockey for the first time in my entire life. I'm not gonna lie, it looks confusing and cold and chaotic. And why does their jersey make me look fat? I'm not. I'm literally drinking Diet Coke. So I kept watching the games for a bit, and honestly I had no clue what was going on. But regardless, after a few hours or so, here are the results. Brace yourself, because this time we actually lost everything. Yeah, we actually lost everything. Honestly, I don't get what went wrong. Betting on the Canucks and Boston Bruins seemed like a no-brainer, and I think everyone would have agreed with the bets we made. But I guess it's the nature of betting. It's unpredictable and it comes with a risk. Guess what? Tomorrow's bets are even going to be riskier because we're betting on an individual sport. We're actually betting on tennis. Sorry if this is gonna sound ignorant, but does anyone actually watch tennis? The only tennis related video that I've ever seen was a clip of this guy absolutely destroying that racket on the ground and then flat out denying it.
It was broken. It was broken already.
Bro just sent that racket to oblivion and he's like, nope, didn't do that. Yeah, sure, buddy. Whatever helps you sleep better at night. Apparently that kind of tantrum is pretty common in tennis players, and I think it's mainly because most of them come from wealthy, spoiled families. I mean, learning tennis is not cheap after all. Anyway, why am I yapping? So today ChatGPT gave us 3 bets. $15 on Carlos Alcaraz to cover a negative 4.5 game spread, $15 on Taylor Fritz to cover a negative 2.5 game spread, and $10 on a parlay combining both of them. So after confirming these bets, here's how they played out. Alcaraz unfortunately couldn't cover the spread, so we lost that one, but Fritz though, he covered, so we won there. What a good lad. Alcaraz should definitely take notes. But the parlay needed both to hit, and since they didn't, there goes another $10. So all in all, we lost about $25, but we won $11. That leaves us with $156 in total. And here's where stuff got a bit tricky. We are on to the 3rd sport already, and we are down $100. And I wasn't feeling super hopeful about bouncing back, so I decided to do something else for today. Alright, so here's the deal. There are some NHL and NBA games going on tonight, and I know that we've already done those sports, but I decided to roll the dice on them one more time just to see if we can make a comeback. Because you know, the schedule is tight, and if we want to make any profit, we need to do something about it. We can't just sit and wait here till tomorrow to bet on a new sport. So I asked ChatGPT to give us some picks. You can see all of them on the screen right now, and yep, no parlays this time. It's just too risky for a position, and yep, that's it. Let's see what happens. So here's what happened. One of the bets lost, however the other 3 won, and overall we made $10. Our balance is now around $167, which is almost what we started with today. So basically NHL and NBA bets made up for the tennis losses. Soccer. Alright, so ChatGPT gave me some betting picks, but there are some that I'm a bit hesitant about. For example, it suggested that I bet $40 on Arsenal to win. Now, Arsenal is a big favorite, I understand it, and they probably gonna win. But even if they win, we only make $6 back. The odds are not just tempting enough, it's a huge risk for a tiny reward. Tiny reward. I mean, what if Arsenal team hit up Taco Bell last night and all of them are suffering from diarrhea today? Which is entirely possible, right? It feels like there are only 2 right options with Arsenal. You either go big and bet all your money on them, or you just don't bet at all and go home. And right now, we're not in a position to go all in on them. So after a bit of back and forth with ChatGPT tweaking the strategy, we settled on a more conservative approach that mixes safer bets with a fewer riskier ones that are actually worth it. So I've decided to put $65 on the line today, spread across 4 different bets. You can see all of them on the screen right now. If they all hit, we might just make a solid comeback. But even if they don't all come through, the way that we've set them up is in a way that there is a really low chance of losing everything. So worst case scenario, we might just break even, which I can live with. All right, so you already placed the bets, and what I'm gonna do right now is to show you a really cool transition to the next clip where I go through the results. I worked really hard to make this transition happen. I spent like 72 hours straight on this transition. I don't think you're ready for this, but here we go. What's up, brothers? Special teams, special bets. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. Too cringe. I'm being too cringe.
Alright, so let's cut to the chase. Out of all the 4 bets we made, 2 of them that were the riskier bets lost, but the other 2 won. So we actually made 20 bucks. Yeah, this is the very first time that we were in the green zone. However, our total balance is $187, which means we're still down from our initial investment. But I'm feeling pretty positive that tomorrow we're gonna make a comeback, because tomorrow's sport is something that I personally watched, so I probably know a thing or two about it, right?
Yeah, you say same location, here it is, mate. It's right in front of you. I'm right in front of you. Do something about it before I shoot your mother at the field.
UFC. Alright, so today we're betting on UFC 301, but before we actually start doing that, let me tell you about the game plan. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. Alright, so this is the 4th sport that we are betting on, which means there are only 2 other sports remaining after this, which means this is pretty much our last solid chance to make up for our losses, so we can try to make some profit with the 2 final sports. Otherwise, it will be extremely difficult for us to end this challenge in profit. So the game plan is to get back to our initial investment of that $250. Yeah, that's pretty much it. The game plan is to make a comeback. Alright, so we've got $187 for tonight's bets, and I'm gonna ask ChatGPT to give us a strategy that could help us to climb back to at least $250 after tonight. So after setting the fight card, I was expecting to get some crazy parlays or some underdogs with a good chance of winning, but no underdogs, no parlays, none of that. Surprisingly, ChatGPT skipped all of that. Instead, it gave me a single bet, 1 straight bet on 1 fighter. Now the catch is, in order to recover our losses and potentially see some profit using this bet, we need to put down at least $150, which is pretty much all of our money. And if you're wondering what fighter ChatGPT is banking on, it's none other than the undisputed flyweight champion of the world, Alexander Pantoja. Yeah, that guy. Pantoja just needs to win. It doesn't matter if it's by knockout, submission, decision, anything. And if he does, not only will make up for our previous losses, but we'll also move into profit territory, which could be amazing for our situation right now. But if he loses, we are down to $37, leaving us with slim chances to recover in future bets. I mean, Pantoja's track record, the fact that he's fighting in his home turf in Brazil, dominating the flyweight division for a while, and him facing a ranked opponent, all of these make this seem like a really safe bet. But at the end of the day, it's the UFC, guys. Anything can happen. One bad moment, one slip, and it's all over. Remember Kamaru Usman? Yeah, exactly that. I mean, I know Alexander Pantoja is good and he's dominant, but what if last night he had some unprotected action and now he's suffering from chlamydia? What? It's a possibility, guys. Don't judge me. I'm just mapping out different scenarios. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. It's a really tough decision, guys. Alright, I've made up my mind. I thought about it for a while and I realized $150 is a big chunk of our money. And if we can't win this bet, we're left with $37, which makes the rest of this video extremely challenging. That being said, I have decided to put $150 on Alexander Pantoja to see what happens. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So here we go. I'm putting down $150 on him right now. Don't make me regret this, champ. It's all or nothing, baby. All or nothing. Alright, I'm watching the fight right now and I ain't gonna lie, this is stressful. Surprisingly, the fight was closer than I anticipated. I was expecting a more one-sided fight where Pantoja is absolutely dominating, but that wasn't the case, and that's not great considering we have $150 on the line. I hate betting on the UFC. Makes it unnecessarily stressful and less enjoyable. Alright guys, so some people are saying it's pretty even going into the 5th round, and if that's the case, then it all depends on this round.
Beautiful shots to the body, eh? Yes, some of these kids were in the UFC before you were in the UFC, so shoot your mother in the face.
Alright, here we go. The moment of truth.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 5 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The judges score the contest 48-47, 48-47, and 49-46 for the winner by unanimous decision.
So, not only we made a comeback, but we are actually in profits. It's funny because most gamblers, they quit before they hit big. So kids, always remember, there is no loser in this game, only quitters. And we ain't one of them. See you tomorrow with a new sports. Baseball. So there are tons of baseball games today, and not gonna lie, baseball gameplay and scoring is just confusing as hell. I just can't wrap my head around it, and that makes me super hesitant to bet on it. So I'm definitely not gonna be betting on every single game today. That sounds like a disaster waiting to happen.
So anyway, after I asked ChatGPT for some advice, it gave me a few picks for some different baseball games of today.
Truth be told, I have no clue what I'm doing here. The only thing that I know is that we're betting on Yankees money line, and I think they're a pretty solid team. I think they're a champion or something, because I'm pretty sure that I see their merch everywhere. In fact, I actually own a baseball cap from Yankees myself, and for the longest time I thought the brand name is called NY. I didn't know it was from a baseball team called the Yankees, because the logo is just NY. No, didn't make sense. Are they from New York by any chance? Alright, so Yankees are playing at the moment, and Google says Astros are at 3 and Yankees are at 2, which I'm assuming it means Yankees are losing at the moment. But also it says it's bought 4th right now. I don't know what it means, but according to ChatGPT, apparently each baseball game can last up to 3 hours or so. And right now it's only been around 1 hour. And ChatGPT says don't lose hope yet because Yankees have plenty of time to win this game. So let's see if they can do it.
They couldn't. Yankees lost, Reds lost, the parlay lost, every single bet lost, and we're down to $122.
That's pretty much it. It's funny because yesterday we made a huge comeback and we're popping champagne and celebrating, and today we just lost it all. And that's life, kids. Enjoy it while it lasts, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow we're betting on a new sport. This new sport is going to absolutely blow your mind. I promise you that you don't even know such thing exists. I'm actually pretty excited about this. I don't want to spoil it, but tomorrow we are
Counter-Strike. Yeah, I told you the last sport gonna blow your mind.
Alright, so all I know is that Counter-Strike is a video game. I have no clue how betting on it works. I mean, I didn't even know there are championship leagues and professional teams, and most importantly, there are some people who bet on such thing. I don't think anyone does though. It's probably just us. I think we're the only people in the entire universe who are gonna bet on Counter-Strike 2. So ChatGPT gave me 3 bets. The first one is under 2.5 total maps, Purple Haze versus Night Raid. I have no clue what it means. The other one is just Night Raid on the money line, and the third one is just a parlay, which is a combination of both of them. However, ChatGPT suggested we bet $50 on each of them, which honestly, I don't think is the best idea ever, so I'm not gonna listen to it. I'm gonna place, I don't know, $10 on the individual bets and $5 on the parlay just to see what happens. I don't even care at this point. This is just an experience. I'm just doing it for the content. Win or lose, it doesn't really matter.
So here we go. Let's do this one last time. I'm gonna place the bets right now. Make me proud, Night Raid. Make me proud. 3, 2, 1. Guys, I wish I had listened to ChatGPT and put a bigger amount of money on all these bets. That's all I can say. Every single one of these bets, including the parlay hit, we won it all. We put down $25 and our profit for the day was $28, so we basically doubled our money. Can you believe? On Counter-Strike? But our balance is now at $150, which is $100 less than what we initially started with. I mean, if I had listened to ChatGPT at the last minute and actually put $50 on each of these bets, we would have had, what, around $300 in our account balance right now? In that case, we could have actually ended this challenge. I guess that's enough of victory for me.